Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Sam. This is Bolt from the Blue Tarot. I channel messages for your highest good and the highest good of all. I use cards, I use signs and symbols that I channel, and I'm going to try to speak a bit more quietly today because I actually got a microphone, which I'm super excited about, so we'll see how this sounds. But some of these signs, symbols, possible synchronicities for you, I pulled through, and you can take these as confirmation that this message is for you, or just look out for them in the next couple of days because there might be something from this reading you want to think back on when this pops up for you. So I saw a chocolate bar with rectangular segments, like a Hershey's bar has. I saw a ram's head, so possible Aries energy there. A flowing white dress or robes and bare feet on grass, specifically Galadriel's, like the shot from Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, of Galadriel as she approaches the mirror of Galadriel. And it's like a moonlit forest scene, and she's barefoot walking in these flowing white, like a flowing white dress over the ground. I get a lot of Lord of the Rings imagery and like a lot of things communicated to me through Lord of the Rings. And I mention this because I think it might be important for someone, not because you are necessarily really into Lord of the Rings, but I think that, the way I view tarot cards or oracle cards or any of this is it's kind of a Rosetta Stone to speak with spirit. It's where our language of understanding meets their language of understanding, and we can communicate in a more cohesive way. So the better you know any story, whether, from your personal upbringing, that's the Bible, whether it's, the legendarium and lore of the greater Middle Earth world and Lord of the Rings, whether it's Star Wars or, something with ideally deep lore that you know fairly well. That is like a huge allegory that spirit can dive into and pull different things from. So if I'm tuning in clairvoyantly and I just get given like a tarot card, if I see that image, that can be interpreted in a lot of different ways, right? And if the message isn't for me, it's maybe hard to tell. But spirit can give you very specific messages from a story because that character is more specific. It's not like a broad, in general, they aren't, these broader archetypes that can be interpreted so fluidly. It's more like you understand who this character is in the story, your feelings about this character, and that's why spirit is showing it to you in this particular way. So yeah, just encouragement here to like really take a deep dive into the lore of stories that you enjoy, because that is like a rich inkwell that spirit can draw from to send you messages. Speaking of, this one's from Harry Potter. I just saw like Hagrid but happy, maybe in his hut. So there's if you're super into Harry Potter, to go off of what I just said, maybe there's a scene with Hagrid speaking and he's happy that has a message for you. Maybe it's something about half in one world, half in the other, since Hagrid is half giant and half wizard, so his magic is different, and maybe that resonates with you. I saw cawing crows, one most prominently very up close, maybe like an illustration all in blue, and it just had it like mouth open. Usually I see crows depicted with their mouths closed, but it was a static image. And then a blue and white Greek script over a pottery depiction of a woman engaged in some sort of physical activity. She looked like maybe she was running, but white background, blue script and depiction, like ancient Greek pottery. And then a goat's head, so maybe also Pan, having to do with the last ancient Greek image. A scene, the scene from Lady and the Tramp with the spaghetti strand and the dogs kissing. So cerulean sea and the image of most of a submarine superimposed on it. A brass-colored circular metal statue with a base. And the statue is of a multi-armed female deity, maybe from the Hindu pantheon, but it's maybe also a candle holder, so each of her arms might also have a place to hold like a stick candle. And then just a penguin, like your archetypal penguin. Nothing fancy. So there you go, guys. All right, so we're going to start off with a new, to me, deck. This is Crystal Connections by Adam Barrelay. If you guys haven't heard of this guy and you're into crystals, check out his stuff on YouTube. I love his videos and his energy. Like, he just holds a beautiful frequency, and his videos are very detailed. And he takes a much more magical perspective towards crystals than a lot of crystal YouTubers. He'll talk about, different essential oils and animals that he associates with different crystals, like the energetic interactions and correlations that he sees with these different crystals, and when to use them and how. So just like when to partner with them and how, I should say. Just a beautiful deck. So yeah, my intention here is just to see what's up with your energy today. Who am I talking to? Oh, Sugar Light. Check that out. That's lovely. So these cards are nice because they're small. Oracle cards tend to be really huge for whatever reason. But these are great. So this says, love surrounds you. If you can't see it, it's because it exists in another form than what you expect. Others' bad moods are their problem, not yours. Your healing powers are increasing, and you can help more people. Learn to love aspects of yourself you've judged as bad. By loving the aspects of yourself that you previously couldn't, you'll transcend to the next level in your spiritual growth. Love the unlovable. I am deserving of love and feel that love surrounds me each day. I like this, guys. This is the hardest. It's like no criticism of Adam, of course, or of the energy of Sugar Light, but this is easier said than done a lot of times, right? It's often when people are unkind, it's because they aren't kind to themselves. When they can't love others in healthy ways, it's because they haven't practiced loving themselves. They don't love themselves. So this is a reminder to extend love to yourself so that you can extend it to others as well. You can't really be that beacon of love until you feel it fully for yourself. And it's a practice. And it's something I'm working on as well. So I also needed this message. All right, we'll see how this dovetails with your reading. Maybe move it back here. Not sure what it's going to do to the focus. All right. Sugarlight. Very like violet flame colors from this crystal. Okay. I'm going to take a look at some of the Oracle of Destiny cards. See what is going on for you guys. Concerns. I hear you. Flexibility. Girdle of Venus. All right, guys, so concerns, got flexibility, girdle of Venus. So I'm feeling these concerns as a heart wound, like three of swords kind of energy. And these can be really, really hard to work through, because often it's like almost like we keep the blade in our heart. It's like if I pull it out, I might bleed out. It's like this blade is in here protecting me from other blades, which is, misguided on our parts, but it's just our subconscious sometimes, but it's just us trying to protect us because we've been hurt before, right? But this is encouraging. I think the heron or the crane is a very, very spiritual bird for a lot of different cultures. I think this is encouraging transcending these heart wounds through spirituality, to realize, like, to take this blade out of your heart and to come closer to something, to unity consciousness, which is like love for self, love for all, unconditional. But because this is subconscious or hidden or extremely painful and difficult, it's going to require some flexibility on your part spiritually. Like, you might not, there's a reason that this hasn't healed yet. Either, it hasn't been time, or the approach is like the current practices that you're using are maybe not, like, while useful, while serving their purpose, they're not the medicine that's needed here. There's something, like, you may have to fly a little higher to see what's going on. Or try something different, I think, is what's being asked. This might involve connecting to nature. Let's pull some tarot cards and see what's going on. If we can get more of a cohesive story here, or more of like advice, context. King of Swords. It's like the Ace of Wands. I'm getting yawning. So this is a healing reading. Let's see. The Knave of Swords. The Knight of Batons. And the Nine of Batons. So your higher self, which is what I'm getting from the King of Swords, is wanting you to unwind something that's tangled up to approach victory in this situation. Something emotionally tangled. When I tune into this card, I'm hearing this song, and the lyrics go, "Do you have the time to unwind, rattlesnake?" And so this is maybe about like this. I feel you guys, because it's maybe like, no, I've done the thing, I did the thing, I've healed a bunch, that's enough, and I don't need to sit still and do anything else because it's enough of that already. Like, now is the time for action. And I think this is a reminder from your highest self that spirituality and the spiritual journey is full of paradox. And sometimes you have to unwind to spring forward. Like you have to take less action in the sense that we think of action, and more allowing. Other approaches keep you stuck in this Knave of Swords energy, which I I get from the book that describes this deck, and just from the depiction, is kind of like ineffectual, egoic. He's like, he's put on this cape and struck a pose, and he's like, yeah, I know what swords are all about. No big deal. And everyone around him can tell that he's never like actually used one. And your high self is trying to preside over this transition from this character to this one, who is Hercules, Hercules-ish figure. And he can he's described in this deck as like the ultimate farmer. So he can cause the desert to grow. He Like he's this bigger, bolder version of you. And this is a card of delay. So look, if you don't relax into this growth, if you don't go about this in subtle and soft ways, if you don't hold your own heart like a delicate feather, this will take longer. All right. Let's get some more cards for like, what is your highest self recommending here? I'm actually feeling like maybe an Archangel Fire Oracle card for this, because these have specific characteristics and recommendations. Within these cards, there's something about like part of each one describes how to become the angel, like how to step into the mode of that archangel. And I think that's going to be potentially useful here. Sariel. Check him out. All right. Attuned to Sariel. Will I find him in the book? I hope you guys are having just a tremendous day despite all of this. Healing. I know it's so tiring. It's so tiring. Ah, Sariel, Dark Night of the Soul. Good, good. I think we saw that coming, huh? All right, Sariel. A message from Sariel. Although you may feel like you've abandoned hope, abandon yourself not. You are being cracked open to reveal your depths. Treasures await you on the other side of this deep initiation. Sariel is an archangel who can help uncover the hidden blessing within darkness. If you are encountering a dark night of the soul, Sariel brings comfort, helping you to offer yourself loving kindness in the depths of your despair. He is a potent ally to call upon when you have nowhere else to turn. Sariel helps us to uncover the triumph within our loss, like the image of him as an African Dogon priest emerging from the darkness in this card. He lights the path to redemption, reigniting hopefulness. When you have met Sariel and understand enlightenment is not only about light, but the balancing of polarities, you will have met the innermost sanctum of your duality and come into the eye of the storm. If you can master peace within your pain, you have mastered your emotions and can find yourself at home within any situation. If you can master peace within your pain, you have mastered your emotions and can find yourself at home within any situation. This is for a collective who's been doing this for a while. It's not your first dark night of the soul, and I just send all of my, not condolences, like we do this voluntarily. We do this for the betterment of our souls, but it's easy to forget when you're deep in it. Like it sucks. It sucks. And this is no small ask to master peace within your pain. Like this is master alchemist, enlightened sage kind of stuff. Most humans of our era will never come close to even thinking about doing anything like this. So well done you is how I want to start. All right, here's the advice to become the angel. We humans are often too hard on ourselves. You embody Sariel's wisdom by loving all the aspects of you that you deem ugly. Embrace your shadow and forgive yourself any mistakes. It is always darkest before the dawn, so stay in trust and have faith that this too shall pass. If you're this deep into this journey, it's not because you've ignored your perceived shortcomings. It's because you have worked to address them. And it can feel like, oh, here's just one more. But this is a level of mastery after which, like, this is the dark right before the dawn, you guys. Hang in there, because when you can do this, not if, but when you can sit in the darkness and the despair and still hold this love for every aspect of yourself, all that you have been, all that you are, and all that you will be. Like, this will change your entire life and the lives of those around you. When you love yourself this unconditionally, when you love every flaw, you give other people permission to start to love themselves. Just to start. It's a ripple, and it will change so many lives. Keep going, you guys. You're doing great. Thank you for doing this. Thank you. Oh. I'm just feeling a lot of emotion with you guys. It's been so tough. It is so tough. But you're doing great. And you can do it. And it does matter. So don't stop. Okay. I have a deck of stories here that I enjoy. See if we can't get you guys any extra pieces of advice useful to everyone. This is exactly what I thought of when the Sariel card said, it's always darkest before the dawn. So this is Gandalf in the east at first light on the 5th day. This is about the Battle of Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. And this is a moment where it looks like the good guys have no hope. Like, it does not look good. But it's at that exact moment, as promised, that Gandalf shows up with like the cavalry. And as the light comes over this hill, like, it just shines hope down, and it blinds all of the orcs and stuff. This is like you shining this blinding light. Let me get into what the card says. Help is coming. Sent by, brought by the Istari, or the Istar, which within the Lord of the Rings legendarium is the wizards. There are several wizards, not just Gandalf, and they are beings called Maiar, and they are eternal spirits of very high vibrational loving light. Like they are archangels, the wizards, but they take this form of mortal men and they forget. Like there's a purposeful forgetting so that they don't like they know, they have an idea what they are, but their purpose is to inspire others to be the best versions of themselves. So they don't exert their power to coerce others to do things. You know, when they're shining in their true light, they're encouraging and supporting. And no one, there's like 3 or 4 people in all of Middle Earth who actually know what Gandalf is, who actually know that he's essentially an archangel. Everyone else thinks that he's just a wise sage who's gained his powers, abilities, and wisdom through practice. So there's something here about like you look strange to others because you hold this light, but it inspires them to be the best version of themselves. Like Gandalf toils for centuries to ensure that the light is not dimmed, that hope is not extinguished. And more than anything, like people don't know what Gandalf is, but they know his character. And it speaks volumes. No matter what he looks like on the outside, his light, his energy is so pure and so purifying. And in your case, it's because of a lot of hard work. So yeah, keep going. This card says it encourages you to keep the faith, even if things look grim. And I feel like right now they do. Hold down the fort and keep hope alive. Focus on the bright white lights of universal love, of Source, of God. Remember that this is the greatest shield. We can get distracted, especially if we're sensitive to energy, by a bunch of different energies. And if we focus on eradicating them rather than growing our own light, our energy will be spread very thin, and that will slow down our growth. So keep focusing on holding this high frequency of love and allowing it to pervade every aspect of your life, because that is the greatest shield. Other energies are nothing compared with this. Like, this is the most powerful thing there is. Keep aiming for it. Remember that believing in miracles is what allows them to occur. And remember also, there's something here about divine timing, right? A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. And this is about divine timing. So remember who's setting the schedule here. And it's not you. You can do things to speed this up or slow it down. Your victory is assured. Like, there's no way that you won't achieve this. Just remember the timing might not be what you prefer, right? You might have to get to that point where you've given up entirely on a manifestation, or that dark night of the soul where you feel completely hopeless for the before the light will show up. So this encourages you to also do what you can. Control, only what you reasonably can. Then pray and meditate instead of worrying. It's always darkest before the dawn. The card literally says that. And remember to pray from a place of gratitude whenever you can summon it, rather than desperation. If it's only the smallest thing that you can be grateful for, just the tiniest flicker, that can bring in a lot more light. All right, guys, I think that's, I'm feeling like that's the one singular piece of advice that will apply to all people who are going through this right now. The hardest part is that you can and should ask for help from spirit, from your guides, whoever you lean on in the spirit realm. But remember that this is so hard because it's you. It's only you. It's internal. No one else can help us in the way that we want someone to help us from this situation. They can teach us techniques, but the reason why so few people get to this point is because it's very hard and can be very lonely and isolating. But it's worth it for all of the people you will embolden to set down the same path, for all the hope you will bring. Remember that. Remember that chain reaction you will bring about, and lean on that. Thank you again for doing this work. I greatly appreciate you. What you're doing matters. Keep doing it. Take care, guys.